Hello and welcome to the Stylish Wellness Podcast. I'm Sarah Banks, your guide to mastering personal style and authority. I've built a successful couture business designing handmade wedding dresses and bespoke occasion wear for women who value elegance and individuality. Now I bring that expertise to help ambitious women like you step into your confidence, express your unique style and make an impact, starting with the clothes you wear. If you're ready to elevate your wardrobe, your mindset and your presence, you're in the right place. Let's create a life and a style that truly reflects the remarkable woman you are. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so thrilled you're here for today's episode because we're diving into a topic that affects every single one of us, whether we realize it or not. The psychology of first impressions and what your clothes say about you. Now, here's a fun fact to kick us off. Research shows that it takes under a second for someone to form a first impression of you, or for you to form a first impression of someone else. Less than a second. And what's even more fascinating is that much of that impression is based on what you're wearing. Yes, your clothes speak often before you do. But what are your clothes saying? Are they communicating confidence, polish, or maybe even creativity? Or are they sending the wrong message entirely? Well, today we're breaking down the science of first impressions and how your wardrobe choices can play a starring role in how you're perceived. You'll learn not only why clothes matter, but also how to use your personal style to make a powerful and authoritative impact. And as always, I'll be sharing actionable tips to help you refine your look and step out with confidence. Whether you're heading to a big meeting, returning to the workplace for the first time in a long while, going for a job interview, or even if you want to make an impression in another way, maybe a first date, or even a coffee with friends and you want to look your best. So, put on your favourite relaxing outfit, grab a cup of tea or coffee, settle in and let's uncover the fascinating connection between psychology, perception, and personal style. Let's get started. Let's start by unpacking the fascinating science behind first impressions. Psychologists have found that when we meet someone new, our brains work overtime to size them up almost instantly. As I've said, in under a second, we're making what could seem like snap judgments about their personality, trustworthiness, competence, and even their lifestyle. But here's the catch. Most of these judgments aren't based on what they say, it's based on what we see. And of course, this works conversely. When you turn up into an office or a workplace, or you're a guest visitor somewhere, or you're going for a job interview, or you're giving your keynote speech, people are sizing you up in a really, really short time frame. And one of the most visible aspects of a person is their clothes. So you can be assured that part of that evaluation that goes on in a nanosecond of someone's brain is going to include what you're wearing. Our brains rely on shortcuts or heuristics to process a flood of information quickly. Visual cues like colour, patterns, and overall presentation help us to categorize people into familiar archetypes: professional, casual, creative, or even unkempt. This is what makes clothing such a powerful tool. It's like a visual resume that we wear every day. So clothing serves as a non-verbal form of communication. Think about it. When you see someone in a tailored suit, you may immediately think that they're confident and successful. On the other hand, someone in rumpled, mismatched clothes might come across as careless or indifferent, even if that's not the case. And actually, I think I wrote about this in a blog post quite a long time ago. It's one of my earlier blog posts about the fact that our brains can find it such an anomaly when things happen like, and forgive me here for making gross generalizations, but I remember once we had a cleaner at a place where I worked, and she was always absolutely impeccably dressed. I mean, impeccably. Not a hair out of place, her nails always done. But if you saw her walking down the corridor, you would not have thought that she was the office cleaner. You would have thought that she was a manager somewhere in the building. Now, I'm not denigrating at all her being a cleaner, but what I'm saying is that role doesn't necessarily call for someone to get dressed up and look their best. But I mean, good for her, right, that she did. But it sort of causes a mismatch in the brain almost. And conversely, we all know of the highly intelligent, intellectual person who is, terrifically intelligent, terrifically brainy, and yet they dress like a tramp. And so there is a mismatch sometimes, and I think our brains don't cope very well with that mismatch. It leaves a question mark in our minds as to what's going on, because we want to be able to make that judgment and then file it away. We want to be able to have the confidence. Our brains want the security of knowing that we have made that judgment. Also, I just want to say here that I'm not downplaying other body visual cues that go on as part of this evaluation process, such as eye contact and the state of relaxedness of the other person, how much they smile, whether they have a nervous twitch or tick because they're in an interview situation or because they're in a stressful situation. But for the purpose of this podcast, we're really looking at clothing and how clothing affects your first impressions of somebody and their first impressions of you. What you wear sends subtle yet powerful signals about your personality, values, and even your intentions. And these signals are tried and tested, really, because we like patterns, don't we, as human beings? We like to understand what the pattern is, what the routine is. So we know that wearing bold colours can signify confidence, power, sometimes creativity. We know that neutral tones can suggest sophistication and elegance. You know, those beiges, creams, putty colours. And we know that there are power colours which bankers, lawyers and politicians, for example, wear, for example, like navy, grey and black. So we're always looking for those cues, but we know what they are, which is very useful for us for when we want to make a good impression or when we want to decide what kind of impression we want to make, because those cues are already there for us. We don't have to invent them every time we want to look powerful and authoritative. There's already a language going on for these visual cues, some of which I think you'll be aware of, some of which you might learn in this podcast, but that you can put together to create outfits for yourself that project what you want to project so that people can pick up on your visual cues. And that's a really powerful thing, because it's not just a question of, like I've said before, it's not just a question of, oh, what's clean, what's pressed or ironed, what can I put on today? It's a question of, what intention am I setting today? How do I want people to perceive me today? What visual cues, or like breadcrumbs, like Hansel and Gretel, what breadcrumbs am I going to leave for people today so that they can pick up on how I want to be perceived and perceive me in that way? Now let's turn our attention to something called the halo effect. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the halo effect is a psychological phenomenon where our perception of one positive trait influences how we see everything else about a person. For example, if someone looks well dressed and polished, right, we might assume that they're also competent, intelligent, and trustworthy, even if we know nothing about them. This is partly why it's so important to be intentional about your style. Your appearance creates a ripple effect. It shapes how others perceive not just how you look, but also who they perceive that you are. So, as we dive deeper into this episode, keep in mind your clothing choices aren't just about aesthetics. They're about aligning the message that you want to send with the impression you're making. And when you master this, it's a game changer. You've heard the saying, behind every successful man is a strong, determined and hard-working woman. But let me ask you, who's standing behind that woman? And even more, behind every successful woman is who? In today's world, every successful woman deserves someone in her corner, someone who understands what it takes to look, feel and live like the best version of herself. And that's where I come in. As a busy, ambitious woman, your time is precious. That's why I've created the Chic Authority Collective, a free, bi-weekly newsletter designed to help you unlock your personal authority through the power of style. This isn't fluff or another overwhelming to-do. It's actionable, no-nonsense advice for building a wardrobe and a life that reflects your confidence, ambition and unique brilliance. Join our community of like-minded women who are too busy running the world to worry about what to wear, but still want to make every outfit count. The link is in the show notes. Sign up today and take the first step towards claiming your personal style authority. Your journey starts now in the Chic Authority Collective. Now that we've uncovered the science of first impressions, let's dive into the message that your clothes are sending. Every piece you wear, from your jacket to your shoes, speaks volumes about who you are, or at least how people perceive you. The way you dress sends powerful non-verbal cues about your personality, mood, and even your values. So let's look at a few sort of quite obvious examples. With professional attire, for example, think blazers, skirts, trousers. These pieces signal competence, authority, and a sense of responsibility. If you're heading to an important meeting or interview, then the way to go is professional, isn't it? It's to look your most authoritative and most powerful. Conversely, there's the casual attire end of the spectrum. Relaxed jeans, soft sweaters, or flowy dresses for when you're at home suggest approachability and ease. So this is perfect for when you want to seem friendly and relatable, as you are. I'm not suggesting that you're not friendly and relatable and that you need to put jeans on to be a nice person. Not at all. It's just that you wouldn't necessarily, if you're in a position of authority, you're not going to turn up for work in your jeans and a sweater that you'll wear on a Saturday morning when you have coffee with friends, are you? These are obvious examples. I understand that they're obvious examples, but I'm just trying to make that obvious point so that it helps you make the connection. Making bold choices, for example, with vibrant colours, unique patterns, or statement accessories convey creativity, confidence, and individuality. So wearing those bold pieces or colours tells the world that you're not afraid to stand out. Monochrome or neutral tones, like outfits in black, beige, or grey, give off an air of sophistication and timelessness. They can also communicate a preference for minimalism and elegance. So you always have these choices at your disposal, and you don't need to just pick one lane and stay in it forever. You can adapt your look for the situation that you're in. There are going to be some meetings that you go to where you're going to want to wear minimal jewellery and minimal accessories. And there are other meetings that you're going to go to where you can wear a really chunky cuff bracelet or big chandelier earrings or a much bolder lipstick, whereas in the previous situation you would have worn like a sort of sleek lip gloss in a neutral colour. So you can play it up and play around with it as much as you want. And I think this is one of the benefits that women do have over men. Hooray, here's a benefit that we have that men don't, because mostly men are confined to suits or very smart casual wear that has quite narrow structures around what they can wear. And as women, we still have a broader range, I think, of clothes that we can wear, which is great. And that we should use those clothes. They should be like our arsenal. They should be our another feather in our cap, another string to our bow of how we are perceived in the workplace. And I think that we really need to step up into that and to understand that we're sending really powerful signals. And you may think that you're in a very junior capacity and that no one is watching you, but believe me, that is really not true. And you may be in a senior role and feel that you've been sidelined and that no one is watching you, but believe me, that's not true. People are watching. People are always watching. They're watching how we deal with situations. They're watching how we turn up each day. They're watching our level of resilience. They're watching our level of professionalism. They're watching our ability to laugh at ourselves. And those are all important traits in the workplace, because people want to employ women who are resilient, who have backbone, who can endure difficult times at work with a sense of professionalism and a great sense of humour. And you can convey that with what you're wearing. If you're feeling sidelined, if you're feeling downtrodden, if you're feeling ignored, then don't reflect that in your clothes. Don't feel it doesn't matter what I wear because no one's watching, because that's not true. If you come back at them and appear impeccably dressed for work every day and look amazing, then people will start to be curious. They'll start to wonder who you are, because you're not giving off the signals that they might be expecting. And actually, what you're doing is that you're saying that you value yourself. And that's really important. And that's something actually that this sort of science of first impressions and perceptions and the psychology of it and everything doesn't really cover so much. But actually, what's really important here is that when you choose those outfits, every time you choose an outfit that you can step into with power and authority, you're saying that you value yourself, and then you start to feel like that. So if you're feeling ignored, sidelined, you've been looked over for a promotion, you'd love to change jobs, but one hasn't come up, don't be downhearted and use your clothes to bolster your confidence and bolster your self-esteem. And as a stake in the ground, say, this is how I'm going to turn up every day. This is what I'm going to wear every day. This is me. This is how I am and how I want the world to perceive me. Even if you feel that the world isn't giving you that back in return, it really doesn't matter. Just do your own thing. Set your store out with your clothes and say, this is me and this is how I'm turning up. And you will endure what you're enduring, and then you will get to where you want to get probably quicker than you would have done, because your mindset is right. And what your clothes have done in that situation is they have set your mindset for you, and they've enabled you to stay positive, to stay resilient, to stay determined. And that's such an important thing, in life as in work life, that we develop this sense of resilience, because we're always being told, aren't we, that life is a marathon, not a sprint. And it's very tempting in times when we might be having tricky times at work to think of it as a sprint or a never-ending marathon that's not going to end. But actually, it's the whole of our working lives that is the marathon. And what we're going through right now, if it's not brilliant, is only a part of it. So endure it and then make the best of it with your clothes. And let them act as a first impression for you, and as a really amazing psychological first impression for other people to value you and think, but she kept turning up. She turned up every day and she's professional, and people will really admire that. And at the very least, if they don't admire that, you will admire yourself more. And actually, that's the more important trait to have. I just want to talk a little bit about fit, fabric and finish. And I don't want to focus on it entirely in this podcast because I think it probably merits a podcast of its own. But the clothes that you wear, they should fit you really well. And if they don't, then it's worth spending the time to have them altered, or if you can, alter them yourself. I know this is a dying art, but it's easy to get your clothes altered, to have them taken in on the waist, to have them let out if they need letting out a little bit, or to get the hemline just perfect for a skirt or a dress. So it's not wasted money. It's a really good investment in yourself. And actually, if you have them fitted to you so that they feel better to wear, you're going to get better longevity out of your garment, which is brilliant because it brings its cost per wear down. So it will make even an expensive garment really cost effective. And fabric, like I mentioned, I think in last week's podcast, fabric is really important. Good fabric keeps its shape. Good fabric endures washing or dry cleaning. And good fabric tends to keep its colour really, really well. And not only that, but good fabric does speak quality. So when you walk into a room, the fabric of your garments really does make a difference. And finally, finish. With finish, I'm including details on the garment, how the garment is finished, and also how well kept that garment is. So small details on your garments are really important. And the reason that you will know that is if you think of how many designers have something specific that they do with the clothes or shoes that they make. It could be a red sole, it could be the colour of the lining, it could be the way that the clothes are put together, it could be the specific fabric that the garment is made in. But there are many designers who use those characteristics of a garment as their personal style reference for that garment. So those small details are really important, and you can tell by the fact that designers use them that our human brains are scanning for them, if you like. We're monitoring for them. We're looking to see on that particular garment what it looks like and how it stands out in a way. And you'll know for yourself that if a woman walks into a room and she's got a really beautifully cut jacket on and there is trim on each pocket and the shoulders fit perfectly and there's a beautiful vent on the sleeves and the buttons are fastened with proper buttonholes and not just sewn on, you will see that and you will notice it and you'll make a little mental note that that woman is really well dressed. So don't underestimate those small details of fit, fabric and finish. You know, clothing is a story. I think that's one of the amazing things about it. Yes, it's to do with power and authority and how you want to be perceived. But at its heart, clothing is about story. And each day you get the opportunity to tell the story of your life through clothes, which is, I think, a tremendous gift to be given. You know, we're so lucky to be living in the times that we live. For most of us, we are living a relatively secure life, even with everything in the world going on around us. And to have that opportunity, that liberty, that freedom every day to tell our story through clothes, don't neglect it and don't underestimate it either. It has real value. Every outfit you put together is an opportunity to tell a story about yourself. It's a chance to express your personality, to showcase your values, and to set the tone for how others interact with you. So whether you're going for powerful and polished, creative and confident, or approachable and casual, make sure your clothes are helping you tell the right story. As we move into the next segment of this week's episode, I'll share some practical tips on how to craft a wardrobe that not only looks great, but also helps you make a lasting positive impression. So stay tuned. Let me ask you something. Does your wardrobe truly reflect who you are? Or do you find yourself playing it safe, feeling disconnected from the style you know you're capable of owning? You're not alone, and that's exactly why I've created something extraordinary. I work with women who are tired of feeling like their clothes don't match their ambition or personality. Whether you're stepping into a leadership role, growing your personal brand, or simply ready to claim your space, your wardrobe should empower you, not hold you back. In just 8 weeks, I'm launching my exclusive one-to-one high-ticket styling service designed to do more than elevate your wardrobe. It will transform the way you see yourself. Together, we'll uncover your unique zone of peace where your inner confidence meets your outer style. You'll learn to step into your personal authority through clothes, creating a signature style that feels authentic, powerful, and completely you. This is a high-touch luxury experience tailored to just 10 women who are ready to step into their full potential. Spots are limited and I'll be opening enrollment in 8 weeks. But you can join the waitlist now by simply going to www.workingfrocks.com/authority experience. This is your moment to own your style and your power. Don't wait. Get on the list now to secure your spot in this transformational experience. You've got the ambition, you've got the vision. Now it's time for your wardrobe to match. Now that we've explored the science of first impressions and the messages your clothes send, let's focus on the most exciting part, how to use your style to make a great impression every time. The secret lies in being intentional. When you understand what you want to communicate, you can choose outfits that align with that message. And here's how to do it. Firstly, define your intention. Before you even think about what to wear, ask yourself, what impression do I want to leave today? Do I want to come across as confident, approachable, creative, or polished, or any other adjectives that you want to come across as this day? For example, if you're heading to a business meeting, you might aim to project authority and professionalism. If you're returning to work after a career break, you will want to look relevant and relatable. You'll want to look like you'll be a good fit for the office. And if you're looking for a promotion and to take a step up your career ladder, you'll want to dress for the job you want, not for the job you're currently in. Step 2. Key style principles to follow. Some of these are I'm just summarising from the things we've said earlier, but with a little bit more add-on. Firstly, fit is everything because it's the foundation of a great outfit. Clothes that are tailored to your body make you look polished and intentional. If something feels off, as I've said before, don't hesitate to have it altered. It's really worth the investment. Balance out the colours in your outfit. Balance neutrals with bold accents. Neutrals like black, white and beige and navy form the backbone of many sophisticated wardrobes. And they are also the colour of outfits that tend to convey authority and power. And you can balance those out. If you feel that that's looking a little bit traditional, a little bit too formal, you can balance those out with bold accents like statement jewellery, bold scarves, that kind of thing. And then, of course, if you want to dial it back, like I said earlier in the podcast episode, there'll be some days where you'll wear your power outfit and it will be appropriate to wear it with very minimal jewellery. And then there'll be other days where you can really dress it up and have much more sort of creative license, if you like. As I've already said, invest in quality, not quantity. Have high quality pieces in your wardrobe and fewer of them if necessary, but just go for quality as much as you can. Mind your details, as we've already discussed in the earlier section. Shoes and bags should always look clean and polished. Accessories should complement, not overpower your outfit. And a simple touch like a sleek belt or an elegant watch will always take your look from average to exceptional. And then finally, which we haven't really in this section, we haven't really touched upon this yet, but grooming completes the picture. Your hairstyle and your makeup and even your posture can enhance the impression you're making. Think of grooming as the finishing touch that ties your look together. And then finally, step 3 is style in action with some practical exercises. So firstly, pick an upcoming event or occasion. Plan your outfit with intention. What do you want it to say about you? For example, if you choose a networking event as your upcoming event, how do you want to look? Do you want to look confident? Do you want to look approachable? Do you want to look relaxed? This will indicate to you what you should be wearing for that event, but intentionally plan it. So pick an upcoming outfit and then plan your outfit with intention. And then, so that's the first exercise, outfit intention. And then the second one is a wardrobe review. So stand in front of your closet or wardrobe and select 3 outfits that align with different intentions. So pick out a professional outfit, a casual outfit, and a creative outfit, for example. Or you could choose like a power outfit, an informal outfit, and a creative outfit. Completely up to you, but 3 that are different. And notice which pieces you are choosing and which pieces help you achieve the vibe you want and which ones might be sending the wrong message. So there'll be a skirt that you might wear for the formal outfit that you wouldn't wear for the creative outfit. And notice how you're playing around with your clothes to fit the kind of outfit that you want to create. The beauty of personal style is that it's entirely yours to define. Whether you're stepping into a boardroom or meeting a friend for brunch, you have the power to dress in a way that aligns with your goals and values, and it's entirely your own decision. By focusing on fit, balance, quality of fabrics, and the small details, you'll not only make a strong first impression, but also feel more confident and more authentic in every interaction. I think this is really important because my intention is not for you to step into your authority, step into your power with these outfits, but actually feel quite inadequate. The intention is for you to create them and to love them and to understand how clothing can change how you feel about yourself. I know we started this episode, and this episode is actually about the psychology of first impressions. So it's actually from the other perspective, which is what impression are you making when you walk into a room wearing the clothes that you have chosen? But actually, everything fundamentally has to come down to yourself and how you feel. And so it is my intention that as you think about the impression you are making, that you're doing so from an empowered position and a feeling of authority over yourself and of self-confidence in choosing those outfits for yourself that are going to make you feel like you want to feel and give that first impression that you really want to give. So we have covered a lot today, from the beginning of the episode where we talked about the science behind first impressions to what your clothes say about you and how to use your own style to make an impact. I hope this episode has inspired you to see your wardrobe as more than just clothes. It's a tool for expressing who you are and creating opportunities for yourself. So let's quickly recap the key takeaways from today. Firstly, first impressions happen fast, really fast, in a nanosecond. Your style plays a major role in how people perceive you. Secondly, clothes send a message. Choose pieces that align with the story you want to tell and the message you want to send. And thirdly, style is your superpower. Fit, fabric, and finishing touches matter more than you think. As always, I'm delighted to play a part in your style transformation and to encourage you to step into your personal authority through your clothes each week. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. Bye for now.